name is Carol, and thank you for joining my YouTube channel. If you could like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, that would be amazing. I am giving away an Circle yoga mat. Once I reach 100 subscriptions, all the names will go into the draw. So just leave a comment, and the mat is valued at 900 Rand. It's natural fibers made from tree rubber. So it's really a beautiful mat. I will put a picture up for you. So just subscribe to the channel and like the video, and then just follow me, and so that you don't miss out on any other videos that I'm going to be posting, at least one a week. Today we're going to do some moon salutations, a little bit of yin mixed with some moon salutations. So it's only going to be about 15 minutes of the video. I hope you enjoy it. Please let me know. Thank you. And let's begin. So just come sit in the middle of your mats, on your knees. And we're going to do a couple of breaths here before we start. So be comfortable. We're just going to align the chakras. Sit with your hands in your lap. You can have them on your knees. Just palms maybe facing up. That's entirely up to you. Close your eyes. I want you to start inhaling through the nose, filling the lungs up and allowing the breath to go right down to the tailbone. Imagine the breath swirling around the tailbone, just aligning the chakras, starting from the bottom. And as you let out the breath now, I want you to just sigh it out. Inhale the breath into the sacral chakras, so into like the belly region. Allowing the breath to swirl around. This is where your creativity happens. And as you exhale, let it go. Inhale the breath into the solar plexus. Into the chest area. And sigh it out. Inhale the breath into the heart, lift the chest up. And sigh it out. We're going to do the throat next. So this is where we hold a lot of tension. So all of the chakras have to pass through the throat chakra. So as you inhale through the nose, and then on the exhale, I want you to tilt the breath back and then open the mouth, stick out the tongue and sigh it out like a lion's breath. And we're going to do that 3 times. Inhale. Relax the neck, stick out the tongue, sigh it out. Inhale. Relax the neck, open the mouth, sigh it out. Inhale the breath. Relax the neck. Sigh it out. Good. Now we're going to focus on the mind's eye. So your third eye. Inhaling the breath. Allowing it to swirl around the brain. And sighing it out. We're going to do the crown of the head. So as you breathe, imagine you are flooding the head through the brain, through a little hole in the top of your head, into the body as you're breathing in, into the body from the top of the head. Inhale. And as you sigh it out, imagine bright light just covering you completely. Inhaling one more time. And sighing it out. Good. You can open your eyes now. And then just turn onto your mat so that you're comfortable. Sitting down nicely on the heels. Good. You're going to take a breath in through the nose. Maybe sit to the back of your mat. Inhale the breath through the nose. Exhale into child's pose. Just extending the arms out in front of you. Inhaling, coming up to tabletop. Good. Exhaling, sitting back down on the knees, on the heels. Inhaling, coming up onto the knees, hands to hips. Exhaling, putting the head back and sighing it out. Inhaling, coming back to seated. Exhaling into child's pose. Inhaling, coming to tabletop. Exhaling, coming back to seated. Inhaling, coming up onto the knees. Exhaling, head goes back. Just sit down. Good. Now we're going to add in a downward dog. So then we're going to do about, let's say about 6 of those breaths. Inhaling into the chest. Exhaling, child's pose. Inhaling onto the knees. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhaling, knees to floor. Exhaling to seated. Inhaling up onto the knees. Exhaling, head goes back. Inhaling, sitting back. Exhaling, child's pose. Inhaling up to tabletop. Exhaling, down to downward dog. Inhaling, knees to floor. Exhaling, back to seated. Inhaling, coming up onto the knees. Exhaling, relaxing the neck. Inhaling, back to seated. Exhaling, child's pose. Inhaling up to tabletop. Exhaling to downward facing dog. Inhaling, knees to floor. Exhaling, back to seated. Inhaling, hands to hip, coming up onto your knees. Exhaling, head goes back. Inhaling, sitting back. Exhaling, sending arms out into child's pose. Inhaling up to tabletop. Exhaling, back to downward facing dog. Inhaling, knees to floor. Exhaling, back to seated. Inhaling, hands to hips, come up onto knees. Exhaling, head goes back. Inhaling to seated. Exhaling to child's pose. Inhaling to tabletop. Exhaling to downward facing dog. Inhaling, knees to floor. Exhaling, back to seated. Last one. Inhaling, exhaling, arms extend out. Inhaling up to tabletop. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhaling, knees to floor. Exhaling, back to seated. Inhaling, hands to hips, come up on the knees, head goes back, exhaling. Inhaling, back to seated. And just relax here for a moment, let the head drop down. Good, extend the knees out slightly, and we're going to come into a wide child's pose. Take a big inhale breath. Exhale, extend the arms out in front of you. And we're going to hold child's pose for 3 minutes. Just notice your body. Notice the sensations in your body. Notice if you're holding on to anything, and this is the time for you to just let it go. Maybe you want to inhale and just sigh it out. The other day we had a full moon, and after the full moon we've completed the cycle and we're starting new phases now. And now it's time to just start new phases and let go of the old. Feel your breath moving into the body, right down into each area of the body, down into your toes. Coming back up into the hips, down the spine and out through the mouth. Push yourself up, come up slowly onto tabletop, then push yourself back into downward facing dog. I want you to bring the left leg forward, step it through the hands, drop the right leg down, untuck the toes. Then come up into your lowest lunge or into your most comfortable lunge. The left hand can be on your knee, or you can come into your lizard pose, so you can extend both hands onto the floor. You can come down onto the forearms. Just notice what is working for you today. How does your body feel? You are going to hold it for a little bit. So really get and drop the right hip down quite a bit. We're already in this pose for a few seconds. Just relax into the pose, and it's now your opportunity to notice what are you holding on to. Is the posture getting uncomfortable for you? Are you experiencing any discomfort? Or is it easy? If it's easy, maybe you want to extend the right leg out a little bit further. Maybe you want to come onto the side of the foot. It's totally up to you today. You might want to hold it here and then drop down a little bit. Good. Working deep into the hip flexors, into the psoas. If you're experiencing any discomfort in the knee, on the floor, then just put a little cushioning underneath it. You can use a pillow or towel or a blanket. So make sure you have your props ready for your classes if you need them. Holding the posture. Kind to yourself, listen to your body. I'm feeling this with you. I'm feeling it in my hips, in my hamstrings, in my glutes. We've got this. If your hand is on the floor, just come up, holding it here for the last 30 seconds. Just inhale, use the breath to calm the body down. And exhale, side out. Good. Place both hands on the floor. Now when you get into a downward dog, don't wriggle too much. Just experience the sensations in the leg. Bring the leg back, stepping back into downward dog. Just let the leg experience what it needs to. Don't wriggle. We'll have your opportunities to move around now. Let's just do the other side. Inhale, step the right leg forward, step it through the hands, drop the left knee down, feel the sensitivity and sensations in that hip from doing the previous posture. And either bring your hands to the floor, otherwise to the knee, just getting deep into your lunge. Inhale and exhale, don't forget to use the breath. Just to calm the body down, that's what the breath is for. Calming the body down, centering yourself again. Maybe this side feels easier and you want to take it a little bit deeper. Maybe you want to just imagine sinking lower into your mat on every breath, becoming heavier. Maybe you want to take the foot out to the side. Maybe you want to drop the knee out a bit. Maybe you want to come down onto your forearms. It's completely up to you and how you're feeling today. And I've got you here for another minute and a half. All is good. Inhale and exhale, relax the body. Just feel where you're holding on to any stiffness, any tightness. Maybe it's easy today, maybe it's super hard. And you just want to breathe into those areas and you'll notice eventually they'll become more comfortable or more intense. It doesn't mean anything. Breathe, relax, and slowly bring your leg back. Push into downward dog without any drama in between, without moving about, without fiddling, just notice the body. Inhale and exhale into stillness. And exhale. Now is your opportunity to move the legs side to side, backwards and forwards. Roll the body if you want to, whatever is feeling good for you right now. Getting into the lower back, arching the lower back, rounding the spine up, or you can just rest into your child's pose. Totally up to you. Good. When you're ready, just stop there. We're going to move on into half pigeon. Inhale. Bring the right leg forward and place the knee down in front of the wrist. Extend your left leg out. Just lifting the head up. Coming into your heart, into your pigeon. Now it's up to you what you want to do in your pigeon. You can either stay with your hands extended out. You can walk them slightly forward. Or you can come down onto your forearms. If you're battling with your leg popping up, you might want to just put a block underneath the butt, just for some added support. Good. You want to work towards getting the front leg extended out, parallel to your mat. And maybe if you are working on mat, you want to use a block for support, just to get the leg straighter. Keeping the front foot flexed helps to keep the shin straight with your mat. But you don't have to be in that posture at the moment. You can just be in a pigeon where you are feeling the comfort and you're still getting the good stretch into the glute. You're only holding it here for a little while. You can come into your sleeping pigeon, resting the head on the forearms or onto your mat. This is all your choices today. Choices for your body. You know how you are feeling. Lift up. Come back into a downward dog without any drama or fidgeting in between, without soothing the leg. Just notice the sensations now. The good stretch, so push back into your dog. Just breathe. Inhale and step the left leg forward, placing the knee by the wrist, extending the right leg out behind you, untucking the toes. Maybe you want to bring this leg forward. Good. Maybe you want to use a block. Maybe you're feeling super flexible and you want to walk your body over to the side, just getting an extra stretch. Entirely up to you. Or just resting into your pigeon, into your sleeping pigeon or sleeping swan. I think this is such a graceful, elegant pose. Notice where you're holding on to any tension, feeling it really deep into the glutes. That's where I'm feeling it today. So I'm just breathing into that area, trying to let it go. I'm with you here. I welcome these sensations because I know with each stretch and with each movement my body is healing. It's good for me. Centering my body, focusing my mind, and keeping completely calm and still in the process. And with each breath you take, create space. And on the exhalation, just get heavier into the posture. So just sink into the posture, sinking deeply into the posture and not allowing for any stiffness to take over, any tightness, any irritation to take over. Just relax into it. Welcome any sensations you have in your body. And they may be good and they may not be so good. Just welcome them. And that's enough. Push up, come back into your downward dog without any drama or any fidgeting or moving, and just be still. Good, you can move now. Move the legs side to side. Good. However you feel, or you can just come into a child's pose. It's entirely up to you. Good. Rolling forward, high planks. And just completely allow the body to move and be free to move however you want. Good. If you haven't moved into child's pose yet, do so now. Relax the arms. And gently, after you've done your child's pose, come and lie down on your back for a short savasana. And just explore the body now. And just inhale, ease. Exhale, let it go. Completely and deeply relax. You can take your time here. Remember to roll onto your right side, coming up into a seated position. Take your time in your savasana. Allow the body to always rest and heal. And then once you're in a seated position, I just want to say thank you, yogis. Remember to subscribe to my channel. It's been my honor and my privilege. Thank you for watching my videos. Namaste.